Hi, everyone.
Hi.
So today we're going to be starting with our counting collection. And on our counting collections, it is Mother's Day this weekend, so a very important weekend. It's Mexican Mother's Day or Latin American Mother's Day, correct? On Sunday, I know we call it
Yes.
Mexican Mother's Day
Hey.
on the 10th. And that's also, I think, Mother's Day for everyone else in the US as well.
Yes.
We thought that it would be great if we counted the number of roses in this collection of bouquets. And I think we've talked about it before, or if not, now we're going to learn that bouquets usually have about 12 flowers or more, it depends. So we're gonna see, or they're called like a dozen, like we've talked about in eggs. When you say a dozen, that refers to 12. So whenever you hear or see something that says dozen, that means there are 12 of something. So if you see a dozen eggs, that means 12 eggs. If you would see a dozen roses, 12 roses. So it's just a word that we use that means 12. So looking at this collection, I want us to think about what would be the most efficient way we can count this collection. Do any teachers have any ideas? If you do, put a thumb up. What's a way we can count this collection? All right. Miss Rosales, I see that you have a thumb up. Can you tell us what's a way that we can count this collection that we have here?
So I want to keep it simple. I think that what you were vocalizing, that a dozen equals 12, I'm already looking at that bouquet on the first row, and I know that that's going to be 12. So maybe circling sets of 12.
Perfect. And we want to make sure that we're looking at the image and we're really counting the number of items in this image. So let's count them and see if there are 12. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So there are 12 roses in each bouquet of roses. So here we have 12, and we need to make sure that we are counting the items that we see. We're not just making up a number in our head and saying, okay, I see that there's something, I'm just gonna make up how many are in there. There are 10. That wouldn't be correct because that's not how many roses are actually in that bouquet. You can literally count them, right, just like we did, and see that there are 12 roses in that bouquet. We don't want to just make a collection and create a number in our head. Where our goal is to see how many items are in this collection of roses. So we need to be accurate, that means correct, with our counting. So thank you, Ms. Rosales. We're going to count these roses by 12. Do we agree? Does everyone want to count them by 12, or do we have a different idea? Okay. So we have 12 roses in this group, 12 in this group, another group of 12, another group of 12, another group of 12, another group, last group of 12, and then we have a group of how many roses, Ms. Hernandez?
3.
3, because those aren't a whole group of 12, but we still need to include them in our collection because they're still a part of the collection. We don't want to leave them out just because they're not a whole group. They're still part of our collection. So now we have our groups and we can visualize our groups. We see that there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 groups of 12 and 1 group of 3. So now we need to go to our second page, and you can see it right here on the sidebar. It says page 1, page 2, page 3. So when you're done showing your groups on this collection, you're gonna go to our recording sheet and you are gonna write your name, Ms. Yakimowicz, and you are going to put that into the space where it says my name, and then what you counted. We want to make sure that our mathematicians who are looking at our recording sheet know what we counted, because once you see the recording sheet, we're not going to be drawing the roses, so they're not going to know what items we counted. So we want to be specific. I counted roses, and then we can adjust the font, put that in there, and then it says I counted items all together. This is where we put the number of items in our collection, so we need to wait. We don't know how many items yet. So now I see my recording sheet. Friends and teachers, what's the first thing that I need to do? Miss Rosales, can you explain what's the first thing that we should be doing?
So we draw the circle sets that we had from the first image.
Thank you so we can refer back, right? You can go from page 1 to page 2 back again to see what you did on that first page. So we're looking at page 1, and I noticed that in the first row, I have 1, 2, 3, 4 groups. So I'm going to show my 4 groups on my recording sheet. So I'm going to show right here. Oopsie. Okay, press this. And then we have 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and then looking back, I see my second row has 4 groups too. So I need to draw my 4 groups. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, now what's my second step? So I showed my groups. What do I do next, Miss T?
You have to label your groups by telling everyone how many you have in each group.
Thank you. So that is very important. In each group, we need to show how many items we have in that group. And that tells our readers or mathematicians who are looking at our paper, it tells them, oh, they grouped them by and in this case, we're grouping by 12. So that means in each group, I need to show that I have 12 items, or you can draw them. It's up to you. But we want to think about the most efficient way. And I don't want to sit here and take up all of our time drawing 12 roses. So the most efficient thing to do would be just write the number 12. So I know on the top, I have 4 groups of 12. And on the bottom, I forgot, so I need to go back and I have, only 3 groups of 12, okay? So only 3, 1, 2, and 3. And then my last group, I wanna make sure that I have the accurate number of roses, so 1, 2, 3, okay. I have only 3 in that group, so I'm gonna put the number 3, okay. So now what do I do? What's my second step? Ms. Hernandez?
Next, you have to find the total of all the roses together. So you would need to start with the first group of 12 and keep adding on 12 more as you go to the next groups. Except in the last one, we have to remember it only has 3. So we add 3 more at the very end.
Thank you. Okay, so let's do that. So 12 plus 12, and I know I've talked about it before, where we can go to the side and we can figure out what is, 12, oops. Hey. 12 plus 12, and we can show by adding vertically. 2 plus 2 is 4, and then 1 plus 1 is 2. So I know I have 24 here, and then I need to add 12 more, and then I can do 12 plus another 12, right? And just add on. Yes, Ms. Rosales, do you have a more efficient way to do this?
Well, I'm noticing, thinking back with what we've been working with decomposition, that 12 is a 10 and a 2, and we know how to count by 2s and we know how to count by 10s.
Ooh.
So then if we're looking at 24, 10 more would be 34, and then 2 more, 36. So now we're looking at thinking about 36, 10 more would be how much?
46.
46, and 2 more, 47, 48.
Oh, you're right. Okay, let's try that. Okay, and I know this part is the tricky part where we go from 12 to another 12 down here. So 48 plus 12 more. If we add 10, that's 58 plus 2 more, 58, 59, 60. So we have 60. Thank you. That's so smart, Ms. Rosales. What a great way to use friendly numbers and decomposing in our counting collection. Okay, let's try it again. So we have 12, 10, so 60 plus 10 more is 70, plus 2 more, 71, 72. So we have 72. All right. And then we add another 12. 72 plus 10 more is 82, plus 2 more, 82, 83, 84. Okay, so 84. And here is the part where we need to remember we're not adding another 12. We're adding 3 this time. So 84 plus 3 more, 84, 85, 86, 87. So we have a total of 87 items or roses in our collection. So then I'm going to write here 87. Okay, and now what is my last and final step? Miss T?
You have to write an equation.
You have to write an equation because that shows what you added to get your total in this collection. So what would our equation look like, Miss T?
It would look like 12 plus 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 3.
Plus 3. And I want to extend this so we can see it out. Let's make sure that we have we should have 7 groups, right? Yes, 7 groups of 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 1 group of 3
Equals 87.
Thank you, Miss T. So we have our, so we need to make sure that we have everything in this recording sheet. So we have our name, we have what item we counted, we have the total, we showed our groups. So the circles are very important because it shows our contained groups. And then we have the number of items in each group. Every circle has a number to represent the items. We have our totals, our counting on, right, from group to group. And then we have our number sentence. So if you want to get a 4 and show other mathematicians how you counted your collection, this is exactly the steps and the steps and expectations you would need to get that 4, right? And if you, for some reason, if the recording sheet did not load properly and you just got a blank paper, or maybe you didn't get any paper at all, you can go to that blank paper or add page and it will take you to a blank page, and that's where you can show your recording by doing all of the steps that we've included. You can include your name, the items that you collected, the total, the groups, the numbers in each group, your totals as you count on, and then your number sentence on a blank page. You don't need this recording sheet if it doesn't load properly. So remember, this is your opportunity to show how many items are in the collection that you have on your assignment. We're not just making up numbers, we are counting exactly what we have. We need to be accurate because mathematicians are accurate and correct and quick with their solving, their math solving. So have fun doing this, and I can't wait to see all your work. Thank you for joining us. Have a great Friday.
Bye.
Happy Mother's Day.
Yes.
Don't forget to subscribe.